A very good morning and welcome to this daily market update. My name's Fabio and today we're going to be discussing the potential trade opportunities on euro dollar. So I know a lot of you are looking for shorts, so we're going to dive into that in a second. Furthermore, let's dive into the fundamentals and of course the other major dollar pairs as well. Now, before I dive in, I've been receiving a lot of questions. Fabio, I want to join you on a daily basis, follow daily live sessions with yourself and the entire TTA team. As you guys know, inside Discord, we have an entire team section where our entire team shares daily market updates on your favorite pairs. Now, the team has started to host daily live sessions as well, but this is for a very small and select group of motivated individuals. We filter these individuals through a form, and the form is in the description of this video at the top. So make sure to fill in that form, and then based on that, you may receive a message to join these daily live sessions as well. This is really for individuals who are looking to get funded on the very short term and get those consistent payouts alongside putting in the actual effort and receiving, let's say, more consistent feedback from the entire team through these live sessions and through live interactions. Now, without further ado, let's just dive into EURUSD because I know a lot of you are very interested in a potential short opportunity. Now, this week, guys, we have a lot of headlines here on the news. I've just highlighted them for you here. You can press pause and check them out. Mainly on the pound, we're going to see massive market movements. The one that you need to watch out for is the annual budget release. And in the Eurozone, we have both Germany and France PMI. So that's inflation numbers coming out, which you should check out as well. Now, euro dollar itself, guys, has caused a daily change of character. From Wednesday in towards Friday, we saw that downside pressure breaking the overall fractal low over here. Now, all you need to pretty much understand is that we get a push up, a push down, a push up, a push down, a push up, and then we get a push down, breaking market structure. Now, at that point in time, if we look at the imbalance candles, which are also known as 50% body candlesticks, you can see that these two 50% body candles, which broke market structure, are currently our supply zone. So overall, it now makes sense for EURUSD for a potential shorting opportunity in towards the downside once we retrace in towards that supply zone, which we're pretty much inside of now. Now, again, guys, what I'm going to do at this potential price level is keep an eye open because the dollar is still consolidating. EURUSD is still consolidating. So this could just be a fake out on the low and then a continuation in towards the upside. We have seen this in the past, guys. And a very good example was exactly here as well, where we had this area of supply. We had that break of structure in towards the downside, and we eventually didn't see any bearish confirmation or reaction within that supply zone at all. So I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. We're going to be waiting for price to come into that supply zone. So first of all, we're going to take out these highs over here, wait for it to push inside, and then if the trend just remains bullish, we just stay out and we just see it push up higher and higher. However, if we push inside, we, for example, push in towards this refined area of supply over here, and then we see the 4-hour change of character, yes, then I'll be happy to get into a potential shorting opportunity on Euro USD. Okay, so to confirm that this is not just a liquidity grab, and then here low break, here high break, and then we just see a push up. This then becomes demand, and then we just continue up higher. To confirm that that is not going to be the case, wait for the 4-hour fractal to shift as soon as we get into that daily supply zone, and then we'll look for those potential shorting opportunities in towards the downside once again. Okay, so that's pretty much it for EURUSD. No need to really overcomplicate it. Yes, there is an interesting shorting opportunity here, but guys, but we need to get that confirmation on the lower time frame just to make sure that we're not going to cut our hands, because again, yes, we have an overextended leg in towards the highs. Yes, it is interesting to look for a deeper correction because you want to, for example, sell into this demand zone before looking for longs again. However, this is what everybody's looking for. Everybody has this area of demand drawn on their chart. So what you'll more often than not see is that it just never actually retraces in towards here. So yeah, I mean, I am interested still in for the downside, definitely to, for example, take out at least this low over here, sweep that low, and then, for example, a reversal up higher. So yes, short-term shorts are definitely on the table, but I'll be waiting for that lower time frame confirmation on mainly the 4-hour or on the 1-hour to just ensure that I'm not an early seller. Okay, so that's it for EURUSD. Going into the dollar index currently is consolidating very clearly, and this is one I want to make very clear, guys. Last time when we saw like a push down in towards the lows like this strong over here, we just got a sideways correction. And if you look left again, very similar price action where we get a very strong push in towards the downside, we get a sideways correction, and then the market just keeps chopping down lower and lower. So it's not like we need to retrace all the way back up in towards this supply zone zone, and the same is here. It's not like we need to retrace all the way back up in towards this supply zone, so don't get caught up in that idea that you need to retrace that high, okay? Momentum is still in towards the downside. We got a lot of bad numbers on the dollar last week, and there are still enough reasons for the dollar to push down lower. At this point in time, we're at a key level of resistance. We're trading in a range, so this is just support and resistance trading. There's no real, let's say, benefit of using, supply and demand. This is the range trading tool that we have in here at the moment, and what you can see is that the 75% mark is acting as resistance, and the 25% mark is acting as support. So if you want to get in on those further dollar longs, I would definitely wait for the dollar at least to kind of like bottom out here at the 70 or at the 25% region before looking for any potential longs again, because at this point in time we're at resistance at that 75% level. And personally, I am still very, very interested in further downside from the dollar, but I'll personally also just be sticking to the extremes for now. And then once we start breaking the lows once again, that is when I'm gonna stay in those longer swing positions on the dollar, because yes, indeed, this could just play out as demand and push the market up higher. So do keep that in mind as well. On the immediate term for now, demand does seem to be in control. So if we do get to the lower prices, look for those longs. But as soon as we break this low, make sure to get in on those dollar shorts. I'm positioning myself both ways at the moment, so I would advise you to do the same. Now, looking at AUD/USD itself, I am personally in AUD/USD longs. I'm in a big swing position in towards the highs, guys, at the lows of the last night. So I'm pretty much in over here somewhere with my stops below the lows over here for around 100 pips. This is going to be a big swing for myself all the way back up. Personally, what I'm looking at here on the weekly time frame is still the exact same what I've been looking at for weeks. For myself, this is still a liquidity low, which we liquidated. This is still the weekly area of demand, and I'm still looking for that further upside push to take out these equal highs that we have over here. Going into the daily time frame, we can also still see that we have a key level of support and resistance over here. And furthermore, based on the fundamentals, it was announced that it is not very likely that the RBA, so the Bank of Australia, is going to lower those interest rates. It is very likely that they're going to keep those interest rates high, which should push AUD still up higher in towards the rest of the year/weeks to come. For myself, the Australian dollar, but also the New Zealand dollar are heavily undervalued. So I'm still looking for further long positions in towards the upside on both AU, but not only like Australian dollar against the US dollar, also on other pairs like AUD Swiss, for example, or whatsoever. And I'm looking for the exact same thing on NZD. So yeah, these are currently long positions that I'm in. If you're interested, obviously, in trading AUD/USD as well, keep an eye open for the 4-hour fractal structure shift, which is this high over here. If that breaks, then obviously this becomes demand, and you could look to scale in on the 4-hour time frame as well. Okay, so that's what I would do for AU, keeping it nice and simple, looking for further long positions, 1-hour time frame as well. Wait for market structure to break. This is the high over here that broke this structural low, and then you could get in on the overall order flow in towards the upside. Now, moving on into GBPUSD, we can see that GU is also pushing up higher. Now, I'm going to keep it nice and simple because the drawing is very, very ugly, but GU is still very, very risky, guys. Yes, we have this pretty much as your buy before the sell. Keep an eye open for a potential correction in towards downside once again by looking at the 4-hour time frame. So for now, what are we seeing here is, first of all, on the daily, that the daily fractal structure shifted. So here we had a high break, and then here we had a low break. So yes, overall, we saw the push up, push down, push up, and then break of structure down, or the market structure shift, whatever you want to call it. And us now retracing in towards this supply zone. So I'm now looking for shorts inside of this supply zone, but we now need the 4-hour to align as well. So at this point in time, what I'm waiting for is for the 4-hour fractal structure to shift. So we broke this 4-hour fractal high, meaning that this is now your 4-hour fractal low. Preferably, I would kind of like want to see a little bit of a push up again, or one more push up, and then kind of like the low to be over here, and then we break that low, and then we get into a short on the freshly created supply zone. So looking for shorting opportunities, but again, being a little bit cautious because I don't want to get caught up in this overall rangy price action that we have over here, right? We can very clearly see it's ranging. So I'm going to be really waiting for a little bit more confirmation on GU as of now. My preference really goes out to trading EURUSD and EURUSD as opposed to GBPUSD, also just because this week is so massive for the pound news-wise. Going into USD, we can see that NU itself here on the daily is looking interesting for longs as well. What I'm mainly looking for on NU is still further upside. Overall, on the weekly time frame for myself, we are still at those weekly lows of support. So for myself, NZD is still heavily undervalued, and I'm still looking for further upside. Looking at the daily time frame, we're inside daily demand over here, so this daily area of consolidation, and I'm looking for further upside from that daily demand zone in towards the highs. Now, what I want to see, guys, what I want to see is a 4-hour fractal structure shift. So here we saw a low break. That low got broken by this high. So what I'm now looking for is a push up. This sell before the buy here becomes your demand zone, and then I'll be looking for a long opportunity on USD back up higher. Okay, so that's currently the long position that I'm eyeing up for USD, not looking at shorts at all, only interested in further longs, and the same goes for other NZD pairs such as NZD Swiss, USDJPY whatsoever. Okay, so keeping my eyes open for this NU long position. Going into dollar yen, last of all, dollar yen has pushed up higher again into supply. This is good. Why is this good, guys? Because a lot of you understand that this was a supply zone over here. You could refine it to these two candlesticks, and we saw the initial reaction in towards the downside. So a lot of people would go short on that bearish candlestick. However, there is no liquidity in the overall push down within this overall candlestick. So that is why it's very likely that the initial reaction will then get liquidated. Now, if you are interested still in US dollar yen shorts, so USDJPY shorts, you can keep an eye open because the daily fractal is still bearish. Look at the 1 hour time frame, and on the 1 hour time frame, you would want to see an overall shift in the market structure. For now, the overall fractal low is actually, to be very honest, all the way down here. So I'm not a big fan of UJ at the moment. I would prefer for it to push up one more time up higher. This then becomes your immediate low, and then you could look for a shorting opportunity. Otherwise, definitely stay out of this because it's not looking very, very safe at the moment for a short opportunity, in my personal opinion. Furthermore, it's also extremely consolidative as of now. So I would definitely stay out of UJ, and I would stick to NU, AU, and EU. Those three pairs have my main focus, with EU shorts being a focus and then AU and NU longs being a focus. Yeah, you might wonder, Fabio, but that's a little bit contradictory. Yes, it is, because you want to be hedging yourself in this market, which is very, very uncertain. Last of all, we have gold, of course. Gold is currently tapping into supply over here. Keep an eye open on the lower time frame if you are looking for a short opportunity. Again, very, very simple, guys. There's no liquidity in the overall push down. So what happens? The initial sellers, again, are getting stopped out. If you're now still interested in a short opportunity, you would need to wait for this low to go, and then you would have a short. Otherwise, we're just going to continue pushing up higher. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak soon.